Rightio, Sveno and Mick here, out and about on the mighty Braaap. Now, I've whipped the, I better just get this on all on good. I've taken the front sprocket up one tooth, which I've set about, and I've got my iPad set up on my kidney belt just to see how it goes. Now, all you're going to do is probably get a bit of a view of the speedometer, speedo, and whatever else. But now what I'm doing now is we're down Brune Pocket, heading down towards Brune Pocket Dam on North Maleny. Now we're coming up against some nice corners down there, so effectively what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ride down there at a reasonable pace, a legal pace, but they're good windy corners and they're sharp bends, and then I'll turn around and I'm going to come back up, and I'll slip into it a bit on the way back up for this little thing, and just see what you reckon. So here's Sveno Mick, 45-year veteran, 45-year veteran of riding motorcycles, motorcycles, and I absolutely love it. As you should know, I enjoy riding this little bike. It's very nimble to throw around like a dirt bike. That's what I like about it. It hasn't got much power. But anyhow, you're going to see her in action. Haven't done an action one for a while. Tallowood tree there. Going to this corner reasonably quick. Fourth gear. Front end, the back suspension. Going in pretty well. I go into the corner. Now, that's the speed limit. Back then, I've done a lot of bike riding, and I don't know if you realise that bike was absolutely on the limit in some of those corners. They're rough corners, and the bike was pogoing. The suspension was pogoing, so on this bike I reached the extremities of the suspension. The front's better than the rear. The back was actually pogoing because it doesn't rebound, hasn't got enough dampening on the rebound, and even on the compression it's effectively springing. So I call that pogoing. The front end was better, but you probably hear it. I'm bottoming the front suspension out. Believe it or not, this is why when you start pushing bikes you've got to have them set up better. Bottoming that front mudguard out there on that horn. Believe it or not, it's hitting the horn there. Now that was bottoming the front suspension right down. You can see the dust marks there. So I'm going to get back up and I'm going to push it as hard as this little thing will go on the way back up the hill. I found the limits of the bike there then. If you're riding that any quicker there, I weigh 85 kilos. I've got a bit of gear on, so I'm probably 90 kilos. That bike there was on the limit. So if you start riding quicker than I was then, it'd be dangerous. And that was speed limit, maximum speed limit. pretty well on the limit on the way up the hill too, believe it or not. And that was at the speed limit that it said you could do up that range, 70 kilometres an hour. Now there's some suggested speed limits on some of it. The majority of that was what. Now, what I was going to say with that. Now these are not a bad little bike, but once you start pushing them along, you can reach the limits of that bike real quick. I've got the kidney belt on just so I can hold this on. You could reach the limits of that motorcycle very quickly. Going any harder than that would be dangerous. I've given, going around that right-hander, I've given that a good big hard rub. That's barked all that brake pedal through there, and that was without it even on. So that really needs adjusting up and bringing right up in close against the exhaust, or it needs running back up over here, but you could modify that. But like I said, the back end was, I felt its maximum ability to do far and beyond what it was designed to do then. You can see I've been laying it over pretty well on there, and on the back end there, right on the edge of that knobby. But yeah, that's fun. But like I say, I've been riding for a long time, and I don't reckon you'd want to push that little bike any harder than that, or you'd be asking for trouble. You'd be asking for a crash, actually. That back tyre's got to come off soon. There's my kidney belt that I got on, which probably works well with this back. The back end is the worst part of this bike. It's just cheap, as in shocks. So they're getting upgraded. Been on to S Mechanical, and they got a set coming in for me. It's a better set of Taiwanese shocks. Anyhow, I'm going to leave it at that. Sveno Mick from signing off on my little Braaap. That's pushing it along, pushing it hard. Mightn't look like it on a video. Sveno Mick on this beautiful Monday afternoon. Got a day in with Mitch and myself, pretty well a full day. And we had to go down to the mower shop too, had to go down to Beerwah. Got my brush cutter in getting a service. It's been playing up a little bit. But I'm going to leave it at that. Sveno Mick from Swenson's Mowing and Ground Maintenance and Braaap riding. Sveno Mick out. Yeah, just real quick video here. Sveno Mick here. Just went out on the ST250 Braaap. Give it a bit of a run. Now, it will look slow on the video, but that on that bike, those few corners, the last few corners, probably last half a dozen corners down, just not long after I took off, spun around, had a quick torque down the bottom, then come back up, 3 or 4 corners on the way back up, because the bike is only being, that can't sustain any more pace into those corners. But it might not look it on the video, but that's probably maximum adhesion on that little motorcycle with the quality of the suspension that you got on a bike that you pay, you know, the $2,500 for new. So, you know, you get what you pay for. Set of Ollins back shocks are nearly that much. But I'm just going to leave it at that. So it probably looks very slow on this video, but it's worth a look. And yeah, fun. And like I said, I've been riding motorcycles since I was 13 years of age. I've raced competitively for probably 5 years, to the point at the events that we used to go to, I could pretty well guarantee we'd pick up a trophy. I used to race mainly under 200 class because I'm a small bloke, and so back then XRs, in the latter years, YZ252 strokes, XR 400s, XR 250s, KTM 200s, that sort of bikes I used to ride. Though I had, and I've done an extensive amount of racing in the last, from late 30s, 2-3 years. We were riding in every weekend, club days, or Shell Sun State, or Thundercross, Thumper Nationals, and club days. So yeah, you know, and I know sort of the feel of a bike, and I know when I
pushing the bike to its maximum ability. But I'm just going to leave it at that. That's Sveno Mick on his little Braaap ST 250. I'm not saying that I'm a guru of that. I was coming up to probably a good C-grade motocross and probably just teeter on the edge of an expert enduro rider back in the day. So it's probably just about to move up into that. Yeah, so I could always run at the top end of the under 200cc class in enduro. And I used to do a lot of enduro four-stroke racing in the motocross. So back then it was XRs versus DRs versus TTRs and that sort of thing, KLXs. But anyhow, I'm going to leave that. Sveno Mick on the ST250 Braaap. I just wanted to put that little bit in just at the end, just so you understand that was pushing it heavy. It might not look like it, but that was pushing it hard through the corners. Sveno Mick, double thumbs up because I've had a ride on a Monday afternoon. Yeah.